The King of the Void has conquered Earth, and Spider-Man doesn't know what to do. This is all his fault because he brought the Venom symbiote to Earth originally. And what about the X-Men? What are the Marauders doing with their boat? Are they helping? Because they could definitely go try and save Storm and Cyclops. This is the Comicstorian channel where we take your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. The King in Black storyline has now been going on for about 2 to 3 months, and it's about the King of the Void coming and conquering Earth. While the main storyline involves King in Black 1 through 6 and the Venom storylines, there's a ton of tie-ins that tell you about the extra stories going on from the entirety of New York being conquered. Today we're going to tell you the one-off storylines, Marauders issue number 1 and Spider-Man King in Black issue number 1. Let's get into it. Earth has fallen. The God of the Void has conquered all, including some of the most powerful children of the Atom. The symbiotes swarmed the planet searching for something, or someone. And the human that knew this enemy beast fell early in battle. Eddie Brock was killed in the opening move. Kate says, wait. Is it because of Venom? Spider-Man really needs to get a grip on his guys. Bishop goes on stating that is the word that he was given from X-Force, and Pyro says, you sure do like talking like a cop, huh? Bishop goes on stating that their mission is simple, smash and grab. They get in, get their people, and they get out. Pyro asks, what about the one controlling all the space dragons? And Bishop tells him that is a stretch goal. 2 of their own are under duress. Cyclops and Storm are near the top of the Empire State Building. They are on the job. Iceman and Pyro will make a flashy entrance from up above. Red Queen and himself will sneak in low. And just as the Marauders sail towards Manhattan, a distress call comes over the radio that a ship is under attack and they need assistance. Kate listens and Bishop tells her that they are already on a rescue mission. But Kate says that nobody means more to her than Storm, but they are not about to let someone who needs help go unheard. So the Marauder sees the ship that sent out the distress call as dozens of symbiote dragons swarm around and begin to tip over the ship. As Pyro begins to burn some of the dragons, one manages to fly around and swoop down. But before it could bite him, Iceman freezes it, sending it crashing down onto the deck. The head of the dragon tries biting, but then it suddenly explodes with Bishop laughing, stating, haha, don't worry, I got you covered. But before long, the dragon's head reforms and Pyro burns it, asking, how are these things still alive? Iceman creates a bridge allowing people from the sinking ship to board, and Kate asks what about their cargo. At that moment, a sudden tapping sound can be heard. Something in Morse code. The captain says that it's just olive oil. Nothing that can't be grown again. We should probably leave now, right? But something doesn't sit right with Bishop about how the captain responded, and he makes his way into the sinking ship. He walks through the halls listening to the taps until he finds the source. Dozens of people are trapped inside a cage shouting for help. Bishop radios back that they need to get this ship stabilized now. So Iceman quickly freezes the water, pushing the ship back up to help everyone out. Bishop then says that human traffickers almost got rid of their evidence. And Kate walks up to the captain asking, olive oil, huh? The captain tells her, I didn't know, they don't tell me. But Kate smacks him, calling him scum. Iceman, show these slavers off of our ship. I will so do that with pleasure. The captain yells, wait a minute, you can't leave us, it's a death sentence. And Kate holds her sword to his neck. Yes, it is the same one you just gave your replaceable cargo. Iceman then tells them, fortunately for them, mutants don't believe in the death sentence, so please, follow me through this portal. As he steps through, he walks into Sage's room, stating that he has some human bogies passing through. Where will our most unpleasant gate lead? Sage asks, do you want terrestrial or non-terrestrial? Iceman thinks about it for a moment and then states, we better leave them on Earth. Be right back. As he goes back out, Iceman tells everyone, all right, this way, if you could just politely step through the gate here. The captain and his men step through and they appear in a large desert with the captain stating that they are bluffing. No way you'd leave us out here. Iceman tells them that this is the nice part of Africa's Namib Desert. The city is a walk that way. Get some exercise and be grateful that the sun is blocked out. The captain shouts, asking, you're not even gonna give us water? And Iceman pauses before going back through the gate and then tells them, sure. And he creates a pile of ice bricks in the sand. As he leaves, he tells them to make sure and carry as many as they can. Back on the Marauder, Bishop returns stating that the ship is clear, and the woman leading the group says, thank you. Her name is Naoka. Bishop tells her nice work with the Morse code, and Kate says that she understands that this is a bad time, but they're going into a combat zone. They'll drop them off in New Jersey before going in. And Naoka yells, "No, you can't." And Kate says that she knows that Jersey gets a bad rap, but it's not Florida. And Naoka shouts, "We can't go to America. We paid those men to bring us to Canada. Who knows what would happen if we return and all the men are gone?" Soon, everyone begins to ask if they can please just be brought to Canada, and Kate contacts Emma Frost, stating that she could use a bit of help here. Emma says that she knows that it's impossible to allow humans onto Krakoa. The mission was Scott, and Storm, of course. But then Magneto asks, "What humans on what island?" After telepathically relaying all the information, Magneto says, "Oh, it was a matter of time. If we put it in for a vote, there is one assured outcome." Kate yells, "Then don't put it to a vote! We didn't ask the government before we helped people. Don't we have the latitude to fix this ourselves?" Magneto says they do have the latitude, and Emma says that and the longitude. Once the dragons clear out, the Marauder makes its way for the North Atlantic, with Kate telling Naoka that she is the last one. Good luck. You'll be safe here. Naoka steps off telling everyone thanks, and Kate calls out all right. Back to New York at the best speed we can. Be well, everyone, and don't worry, the steward of the island knows a thing or two about being in your boat. As the Marauder sails off, Callisto walks up telling everyone, "Welcome to Island M. Sadly, we don't have any more umbrellas, and the woman who controls the weather is a bit off her rocker right now, being controlled by the God of the Void. There are parts of the island where you will not be welcome, and we will know if any of you stray. Your ship's medicine money and now whiskey comes through here. Stay clear of the port to the south. Please take a potted tree as a gift and keep on the path. The North Shore is straight ahead. Once ready, plant your trees and you'll have shelter from the storm." Everyone begins to plant their trees, patiently waiting, and then suddenly the trees and vines begin to rapidly grow. Later, Naoka skips rocks along the coast, with Magneto asking if she is the one that they call Naoka. She stumbles, stating, "Yes, are you our host?" Magneto grabs a rock, throwing it, telling her, "Yes, I thought this island was my home once. Now I realize it is more than just a home. It is a sanctuary. Perhaps that is what this place has always been. A place in the North Atlantic between two worlds." Naoka asks if the sanctuary offered to them is out of kindness of his heart or another reason. Magneto tells her that she has every right to be skeptical. Weak nations prey on those in need. Strong nations do not fear showing kindness. When the emergency passes, they will be moved from this island to a country of their choosing with the assistance of his government. But there is something that he wants from them. Many stories will be written of Krakoa's might. May she tell one of their mercy. Next up, we have King in Black, Spider-Man. As the snow falls all over New York, Spider-Man takes a moment to catch his breath after narrowly getting away from one of Knowles' symbiote dragons. When he was younger, he wanted to win the Nobel Prize. He liked science, and the best scientists win Nobel Prizes. It wasn't until later that he learned that Alfred Nobel set up the Nobel Prize to atone for his inventions, most notably dynamite, which folks made mobs out of. The story goes, Alfred opened up the newspaper one day and saw his own obituary there, printed by mistake. It read, "The Merchant of Death is dead." Nobel was a great scientist and he understood guilt, and Spider-Man, he's full of guilt, because this is all his fault. Ever since he brought that thing back with him, he brought Venom, a symbiote, an alien being from a war across the galaxy. Ever since, it all went wrong. Every death it has caused has been on him. Spider-Man slams his fist into the side of the wall, thinking back to all the things that Venom did, creating carnage and all the others that came out of that, and now the world is ending and it all comes back to him, bringing the symbiote to Earth all those years ago. Patient zero of a global infection, and now Dylan Brock? But before Spider-Man could wallow in his self-pity, something flies by holding a person, and he quickly puts back on his torn mask, following it. With one good swing, he leaps through the air, punching the creature, releasing the old woman. The creature quickly shifts back into a human form, asking, "Spider-Man?" Spider-Man webs the two of them from falling, asking, "Reptile?" Oh no. Reptile asks, "What the heck, man?" Spider-Man tells him, "I thought you were a dragon." Reptile yells, "I was a pterodactyl! I was helping someone get to safety." The foreign woman yells, "Spider-Man! Threat! Menace!" But as Spider-Man helps her down, he asks, "Why aren't you at the Avengers Academy in California?" Reptile tells him, "You know that they closed that like years ago, man." As Spider-Man tells him, "Yeah, I knew that. This is all my fault, Spider-Man." This causes Spider-Man to pause for a moment. "Wait, what?" And Reptile smiles. "You're my inspiration, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, always there for the little guy. Look, one thing I learned from Dr. Pym was that you have to know your own capabilities, and those giant things, I can't handle them. I wouldn't be any good. I'm just a kid who could turn into dinosaurs. But I learned from you that there are people out there who need help. That's Mrs. Volkov. She needs to get back home, and I'm gonna make sure she gets there okay, because that's what Spider-Man would do. Spider-Man thinks to himself that if all of Pym's kids turned out like this, there's nothing he can do for Eddie, for Dylan, but this kid, the Avengers had better watch out for their jobs. Spider-Man then asks, you want some help? As the two begin to make their way through the city, Reptile tells him, this is so cool! It's Reptile and Spidey saving the day. But are you sure you don't have anywhere else more important to be? Spider-Man tells him, it's like you said, not your capabilities. And this is something I can help with. So Mrs. Volkov, where are we taking you? She doesn't respond, and Reptile tells him, oh, she's like a big Daily Bugle fan from back in the day. Anyway, there's another reason I could use your help. Where is Staten Island? Spider-Man stops. Staten? We're going to Staten? Do you know how far that is from here? Reptile tells him, look, I'm from Nevada. I don't know New York. After sighing, Spider-Man says, it's gonna be a hike, like 5 miles over open water. And after webbing up some of the incoming dragons, the two begin to fly over the ocean. Spider-Man points forward, stating, just keep going this way. Follow that ferry up ahead with its lights on. But that's it. If the light is attracting them, while in complete darkness, it'll act like a beacon. And the thing with beacons is that it attracts all kinds of things, like more symbiote dragons. Reptile asks him, so what do we do? And though Spider-Man knows that they can't possibly fight it, he says they have to fight it. But don't worry. He has an idea. He jumps down onto the boat, stating that he is here to help. He has a friend out there that could turn into dinosaurs. The captain asks, do you not see the size of that thing? Yeah, I do. But they have their land dinosaurs and their dinosaurs in the sky. Some of the biggest and meanest ones lived in the water. Reptile jumps out of the water as a giant sea creature, biting down on the dragon, bringing it with him underwater. Spider-Man then says, okay, we don't have much time. The only way we can kill those things is with light and electricity. Do you have any lasers on board? Anything like that? The captain pauses, thinking about that question. No. Spider-Man says, then you better have some serious generators on this tub. The captain tells him that it's an Olus-class ferry, brand new. They run 4 EMD 12710 diesel engines. Their emergency generator alone puts out 400,000 kilowatts. You want juice? We got juice, Spider-Man. The two begin to get things ready, with some of the passengers asking what is he planning? What can he do? Where's Captain Marvel? Where's Thor? Spider-Man's anxiety begins to spike. It's all his fault. Mrs. Volkov tells everyone to just shut up. This Spider-Man wants to help, which is shocking. I know. Always I think he is a threat. He is a menace. But he helped me. And when he see you, your ship and your monster, he could have said, oh, not Spider-Man's problem. It's problem for Captain Marvel or blonde pretty man Thor. Nothing Spider-Man can do. Oh well, he could go on, save one person and sleep good night. But he tell polite dinosaur boy that you need our help. Help us. So let him. With that, the passengers begin to get everything together while Reptile continues his fight below in the ocean. Once they're down, Spider-Man holds up a makeshift harpoon connected to the generator, stating, all right, it's just me and the big guy. Let's do our own Moby Dick routine. From hell's heart, I stab at thee. Spider-Man leaps into the air, not nervous, not shaking, not full of anxiety, and he slams the harpoon into the dragon's mouth. As the generators kick on, they send out an unimaginable amount of electricity into the dragon, causing it to explode, flinging him back off the ship. Spider-Man asks, you gotta be kidding me. I went toe to toe, but Reptile stops him. You went more like wing to flipper. Mrs. Volkov pats Reptile, telling him, I'm glad you're not dead, polite dinosaur boy. I think I will take the ferry the rest of the way home. The flying, not so good for me. Reptile laughs. Of course, whatever you want. And the two look out into the ocean, and Reptile tells Spider-Man that they did it. They got Mrs. Volkov home. They helped one person, and they ended up saving a whole boat of people. So, what do we do now? Spider-Man laughs. Are you new? We do it all over again. Maybe we can't beat up the alien space god. There are still people out there who need help tonight. You up for it? And Reptile tells him, oh yeah! And that concludes the Marauders tie-in, where they end up saving people who are being human trafficked, and it also concludes the Spider-Man tie-in. Both of these are just individual books. They're related to the overarching storyline that is King in Black, but there's no real continuations, as far as I know, on each of these two storylines. The character of Reptile is actually one of Marvel's new superheroes that they really want to put into the forefront and see if people actually care about him. He's got his own comic book coming out real soon, so this was a fun way to get a vibe for him having him team up with Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man is one of the most recognizable Marvel superheroes. Of course you're going to know, oh, Reptile's that dinosaur kid. So what do you think about Reptile is the question I'm getting at here. Do you like him? Did you dislike him? Do you like that whole thing? Also, I apologize if I got a little too into the finale with Spider-Man. Whenever we get those epic finales, sometimes I get really amped up, and I'm sorry if you didn't like it. It's kind of what we do here. If you want to know what's going to happen next year on Comicstorian and you want to have a vote in it, consider going to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where we have a mini producer tier where you can vote on the stories that are coming out. You guys voted on Falcon Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier The Longest Night, Batman Inc., Suicide Squad. All these things are being decided on our Discord and Patreon. Go check that out if you got a chance. And regardless of any of that, please consider checking out this channel. Next Saturdays, we do more Marvel storylines. We'll be doing mostly King in Black until this ramps up, and then we're probably just going to do mostly Marvel stuff like we're doing DC on Fridays. Thank you guys so much for your continued support right here. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. At this point, you're just listening to a guy ramble. So thank you. I'll see you next time.